Okay, so we're going to start with the Hyper-V 7412 exam objectives. So for that, we need these three machines here. You know what? Should borrow. So let's just get some kind of server here instead of these guys. So wow, okay, that's too big. So we need three servers. Seriously. And so three servers are, or three virtual machines are there, right? And then we go for, first is of course the DC, and let's just make sure that it is our clean DC, like if you have a clean snapshot. And then we go for two Hyper-V here, right? So two Hyper-V machines, we need two member servers here, and the objective is to do live migration of a VM from one Hyper-V to another. And we're going to talk about that, why do we need that, and what scenarios are you going to apply that. But this is all virtualization now. So this is, some part of it we cover in 7410 as well, but now we need to cover the 7412 objectives. So for that we need two member servers, right? So member server here and member server here. Now we have total two machines till now, or three machines? I think we have four machines, right? Do we have clean four machines? Did we take a snapshot when they used to be member server? Kind of, right? Oh, okay. So let's just get back to three machines, one DC, two member servers. Two clean member servers would be better than anything else installed, because then Hyper-V configuration will be a little tricky, and we need to understand each and every step, and hopefully we don't get any errors. So I'm just gonna go back to the machines here and create quickly a new clone here. Just first trying to see if I have space. Yep, enough space is there. So template, right click, manage, clone, next. So that would be 70-410 server. Okay, so it's getting created. While it's getting created, so again the objective is one DC and two clean member servers. If from the last lab we when we went back to the snapshot, I think two of us had a replica DC on that snapshot, right? Or do you have a clean member server, just Windows 2012 installed and joined to domain? That's all. If we need to confirm then. So I think you have two member servers.
Yeah.
Okay. Which has nothing else installed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have a snapshot.
Oh, way to go. Way to go. Murthy, you have two member servers where one DC and two Windows 2012 only joined to domain, right? Yes? Oh, you're going there. Okay, try to do that. Or you can just create two clones and join them to domain. If you don't have those, right? Snapshots. And when you create those two clones, just take a snapshot when only static IP was given there. So, Jonathan, you have two member servers that only 2012 and joined to domain, right? And Renfrew, do you have two? Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm just gonna start this third server here while checking my other two servers and let's check the objectives, what we need to achieve today, and understand. Okay, so let's log into our domain here. In fact, whatever I did last time, I'm just going back to that clean snapshot where it was ADDNS for the domain controller. Then I'm going for a clean snapshot for the member server as well, where it was just joined to the domain. So the snapshot really saves our time here. So Hyper-V is a virtualization solution for Microsoft. And of course VMware is a virtualization solution from VMware. Citrix also has a virtualization solution which is called Zen Server, and now Red Hat also has a virtualization solution, plus many others. But anyone has experience with Linux? Red Hat?
No, just Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, okay. Nice. But no Red Hat, right? Just Blue Hat, right?
Just check the environment.
Blue Hat.
No, I just check.
What's the environment in? Okay. Okay.
Deeply.
Oh.
Because it needs, you have to
Yeah.
review the command line.
Commands, and that takes time. Yeah, you're right. So in our VMware class, there is that Red Hat guy as well who never saw Windows before. So
Yeah.
in the Sunday VMware class, that guy was like the slowest one. Oh, I'm recording that. Hey, that guy, don't see the video. Okay, so okay, so this is so in on domain controller, just make sure that you see 2 servers. I mean total 3 servers like this. So when we go to domain controller, let's just open the Active Directory user in computers and go to computers. There should be server 2 here in the computers folder in Active Directory user in computers, and domain controller should have 1. So computers folder should have actually 2 computers here, server 2 and 3, right? While domain controller should have 1, computers should have 2 in Active Directory and computers. That's how we would know that our environment is good or not. So let's just create that. I hope I have my DHCP here, so I don't have to give a, oh, I don't, so I have to give a static IP, seriously. Okay, so we'll quickly give that, and then we start with the theory here. So any experience with Hyper-V or VMware in your environments? Anyone ever? VMware Workstation or VMware ESXi? ESXi. So what were you able to do there, like in VMware?
I've created like
Virtual machines and
yeah, but not like I would do it.
okay. Okay, in test environment you were able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any other task on VMware ESXi? Create virtual machines?
Then,
Okay. And it's a big environment, like had any idea about that, if there were a lot of virtual machines there? Okay. Okay, that plus admin and okay, so still administrator, just change the name. So okay, about the Hyper-V environment, there's a 7410 objectives for Hyper-V that goes for the basics of Hyper-V. Then 7412 go for the high availability solutions for the virtual machines that are hosted on top of Hyper-V. So we're gonna just go for 7412 based exam objectives, and for that just trying to get my machines up and running. Okay, nearly done. What are the VM nets we're using? 5. Okay, I'm using 5. Okay, so this should easily join the domain. Where domain local or not. Okay, checking if the firewall is on. And it says off and it is on. Welcome to Microsoft. Okay, so first of all we need to install VMware, and then we can go for the actual configuration of that. So for that, on member server 1 or server 2, we can just go for okay, seriously, this is not contacting my. Seriously, I was typing VMware domain.local for the other class. It's net plus domain. Net plus domain.local. That's why it was not letting me do that. Net plus admin. Okay, so yeah, okay, and restart. So on the first server, this server, we need to just and actually on the both servers we need to first check if we can install Hyper-V, and then we can go ahead and do the workaround quickly. That's going to make the Hyper-V work. But if you're on member server 1, server 2, everyone on server 2? Server 2, for them, going there? Okay, so on server 2, open the server manager, go to dashboard, and go to add roles and features here. And when you are on add roles and features, like this, go to the roles window, which is 3 windows away. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just click fast, and then everyone sees Hyper-V like this. Hyper-V, right? So when you click Hyper-V, of course, the features window, just click add features here, and everyone gets that error. Yes. Oh, okay, it's not like, yeah, it says hypervisor is already running. What's a hypervisor? So hypervisor is yeah, so hypervisor itself is kind of an operating system, but not an operating system. It's a software code that installs directly on the hardware and talks to the hardware. And the only purpose of hypervisor is what? To host what? To host virtual machines. The only purpose of hypervisor is to host virtual machines. The huge virtualization environments in large companies, in majority of the companies, they have to first install directly on the hardware, bare metal hardware, a hypervisor, which is a software code that talks to the hardware on behalf of the virtual machines on top of them, right? So if we go to the diagram here, so if this is a server, a physical server that you deployed at your company, if you don't install Windows operating system and you want to install hypervisor, so hypervisor directly gets installed. It's a very small software code, and it gets directly installed, and this is called hypervisor 1 or type 1. There's a hypervisor type 2 as well. So hypervisor type 1 directly gets installed on a bare metal machine. Bare metal means a empty physical server, right? And type 2 gets installed where? On top of an operating system. And so if suppose this is the case, hypervisor type 1 is there, we directly install on a hardware. The only purpose of this will be to host a number of virtual machines on top of it, right? Hypervisor itself will not take a lot of memory, processing, RAM. Memory and RAM is same, right? So processing, RAM and hard disk, right? It will not take that much. So hypervisor does not take the most critical resources: RAM, processor, hard disk. While hypervisor 2 is the kind of opposite for this. Not kind of, it is. So here it will consume. Okay, I lost it. So yeah, again. So it will consume. It will consume some RAM, processor, and hard disk for its own running, right? For its own operation. So what happens here? Hypervisor type 2 is installed on top. Type 2 is installed on top of an OS. So in our case, are we using hypervisor 1 or hypervisor 2? We're using hypervisor 2. Why? How? We have Windows 10.
We are installing on top of the operating system.
Exactly. So Windows 10 we have already here, and VMware Workstation is there on top. VMware Workstation is hypervisor 2. ESXi in VMware is hypervisor 1. In Microsoft, Hyper-V comes as hypervisor 2, as well as the same name goes for hypervisor 1 as well, where you can just install Hyper-V directly on top of a bare metal machine, right?
So sorry,
Yep.
when you install on hardware, right? After Windows.
Yep.
So how we know that already installed? How we do
So it's not VMware Workstation that we install if you want to install on a empty physical machine. Then you have to get a DVD on which you have burned already ESXi. So that's the ESXi that is on the server side. So server side hypervisor, and you have to get that. It's free, and you can just install that and just have a bootable DVD, and then it detects that, and like this, it's installed. It's very small software, but very powerful and has a lot of features. The only purpose of installation of this is to host virtual machines. That's all. It doesn't do anything else. Just virtual machines. And depends on, suppose you want 50 different virtual machines, then you must have a good hard disk capacity, good RAM, and good processing, right? Depend on the traffic, the data, and the users using the application. Hardware will be really consumed by every virtual machine. So 10 virtual machines, they will all, there's only physically, there's just 32 GB RAM or 64 GB RAM or 128 GB RAM, whatever you put there, right? It has to be divided among the virtual machines that you put there, right? Just like if in the VMware Workstation now we have like how many? 3 virtual machines, right? So if I ask you to start 7 more, what will happen? The laptop will, on the 4th or 5th or 6th one, actually on the 6th one, it will really slow down and it will be frozen. So all the hardware resources are being consumed by whatever virtual machines, number of virtual machines you're trying to start there. So it depends on the high-end hardware that how many virtual machines you can start, right? So hypervisor 1 is professionally used for virtualization environment. Hypervisor 2 is not, it's like you on a Windows 2012 you install hypervisor 2, then this means that you want that server to be multi-purpose. And how is it multi-purpose? When you install Windows 2012 R2, you can install Hyper-V as well, which we're about to install now, and you can install DNS there. You can make it a print server, you can make it a file server as well. So you can do multiple things with that hypervisor, right? Because Windows 2012 is installed and you installed Hyper-V just as a role. This means it's hypervisor 2. That means you do not want your sole purpose is not to host virtual machines, right? Your purpose is to have the hypervisor used for other roles as well, right? So if in our case it's hypervisor 2 that we're going to test, but the actual test is about hypervisor 1, right? So actual test is about that if you have hypervisor 1, how can you transfer a virtual machine from one place to another? So for that, if you have a virtual machine here, like not like this. So if you have a virtual machine, okay, seriously, what happened to my diagrams here? Oh, file not found. Okay, ignore that. Pretend you're not seeing that. Okay, Okay, stop pretending now. So yeah, so these are the two physical machines, and this is the virtual machine, right? So we're pretending that we have the hypervisor 1, not 2, and then we're going to just migrate, live migrate a machine. So live migrate means the machine is started, right? And the user connections are there, and you migrate that, and there are no errors coming there, and you can migrate back and forth as per your need, or just for fun, yeah, like this. Oh no, not for fun. Okay, so but there are many scenarios where you do planned migration, and where you have just lost communication, and the machine has to migrate itself automatically, right? So these are this is a scenario. One scenario is that how do you migrate the virtual machine. First scenario of our lab today is, and also the hard disk. So when you create a virtual machine, there is a hard disk file created for the virtual machine, which is called VHDX. That's the hard disk file. Inside this hard disk, all the virtual machine data is secure, right? So what we're gonna do is,
Hyper-V2.
in Hyper-V Windows 2012 R2, yeah. In Windows 2008 it was VHD, Windows 2008 Hyper-V. Now in 2012 Hyper-V it is called VHDX, yeah.
What's VDI?
Mhm.
What's VDI?
VDI is Virtual Desktop Infrastructure. So this is a desktop which is virtualized desktop with all the icons there, and this is the whole thing that you offer to a user. The user logs into account and has that desktop in front of the. So VDI is totally different from virtualization of the whole servers. You're just virtualizing desktop, yeah.
Oh, sorry, was it like when you create like a virtual machine and then it's called sometimes they
Is the icons, yeah.
the format of the
That's format of the desktop, or
of the virtual drive.
okay. So there are three types of virtualization you can do: virtualization of applications, virtualization of servers or machines like operating systems, and virtualizations of desktops. So what we're doing is virtualization of machines, so operating systems, right? The whole machines. So Windows 2012 R2, yeah.
System is
Mhm.
just a short brief about visualization of desktop. What's the purpose?
Desktop is just that you have a fixed amount of. So see this. This is my
What's the
desktop.
difference between desktop and applications?
Yeah. So applications is so first of all desktop, right? So this is my desktop, right?
Yes.
So now a company wants a desktop with their own compliant applications showing their icons, showing their, as well as the background picture showing their whatever they want, and the Internet Explorer opens. The Internet Explorer should have their own company website opening there, or the intranet opening there. So they want that fixed environment or planned environment that the company wants to show out to everyone. So they create a VDI, or they create a desktop, virtual desktop infrastructure. So they create that file or that set of files that load to when the user logs in. That fixed desktop with company's own compliant settings should load when the user logs in, right? So that's like when you have a fixed desktop which is virtualized. This is kind of a virtual machine, but it's mostly related to all the icons that the company wants you to see. And maybe they want you to not change anything on that desktop. They don't want to do anything else, any kind of changes. It's kind of a fixed. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a fixed thing that all the icons are there. You cannot delete them, or if you delete them, they're gonna come back again. If you mess anything on the desktop, it's just gonna come back again. But it's but it works like a virtual machine. It just loads when you're logging in, right? So second thing, what is virtualization of applications? Application virtualization is you have your normal computer here, you have your computer at home, you have your computer at work, and you don't have certain icons showing there. You ask, okay, I need MS Office here. So either the desktop support guys, they will just come to you, put the DVD, or just log in and install the application MS Office from the network, right? If they're connected to the company. Or you already have 4 servers, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the servers have MS Office installed on them, and then you either install Citrix, or either you install remote desktop services from Microsoft, or Citrix application services, right?
Yeah, same thing to that one.
Yeah. So and Citrix, what does it do? It just offers all the icons on your machine. So those icons are there for Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, but when you double click, they actually run from those 4 servers. They're not installed on your computer, on at your home. They're not installed there, but the icons are showing there. While your own desktop icons are showing here, which is your normal machine day-to-day usage folders you have created here, but there will be extra company icons also showing there, right? So that's application virtualization, where application is installed somewhere else and you can run from anywhere if you have access to those icons and access to those applications.
Because these companies have software servers.
Exactly, the servers that have either the physical server should be there, and then either you use Citrix solution for application virtualization or remote desktop services, which is Microsoft solution of application virtualization. But application does not get installed on client side. It doesn't. It gets installed on the server, 4 server, 5 server, 10 servers according to the users, number of users, and then they use the RAM and processing of the servers and never use the RAM and processing of the clients.
And what's the benefit of this
Uh,
for companies?
Yeah, so if you have 10,000 machines, you don't have to install on 10,000 machines and maintain on 10,000 machines. If it's corrupt on any of the number of machines you go there, you just have to maintain it on 4 servers or 10 servers for that, or 11 servers. So it's easier to maintain on limited amount of servers. And if one server goes down, the other servers are still having MS Office as well.
But
So
in this scenario, for all users, we have to have 5 servers because they have to save their files somewhere.
So,
for example, if
mhm.
they use Citrix
Mhm.
by using, for example, Office,
Mhm.
they use Office by that way. It means the Office, the Microsoft Office is not installed on their own computer. It's
Mhm.
somewhere else. But they need a place for those files
Yeah,
to
yeah.
save them.
It's one link only.
Just
So when you log in, you can map a drive to a file server.
mhm.
So whatever you save it on that drive.
For 11.
Yeah. Mhm. So we can just remotely save it somewhere else. Yeah.
So the secret server,
Mhm.
right? So they install that ERP, they call it ERP server.
Well, Citrix
So that is
server
application?
for its ERP application
Okay.
can be virtualized with the help of Citrix. So Citrix has to be installed, but for the installation of Citrix, we don't need ERP.
Oh,
Citrix installed, then it offers ERP application icons to everyone.
the ERP is application.
Yeah, it's a separate application, just like MS Office example I gave. That you want to virtualize that?
They are installing on a 2012 server.
Yeah, you can install on Citrix on 2012 server. If there's a project, I can do that, and I'll charge you very less. Thank you very much. So, define very less. That's a separate definition. So,
And Citrix, what's the Citrix software?
Citrix also offers application virtualization and desktop virtualization.
Just
These two. Well, it also offers the server virtualization, which is Zen server, which is we are doing here. The server virtualization. So this is ESXi for VMware, Hyper-V for Microsoft, and Zen server from Citrix. So operating system virtualization is there, right? So that's why in virtualization it's so in depth and it's so with every company. Every company wants to go for any kind of virtualization because it is saving money. In that it's saving money, and it's easier to manage, right? Than the hardware solutions they have. So that's why virtualization courses are very important. That's why I'm suggesting that at least minimum you must do VMware. You will understand the server side of virtualization. This is still the client side we're working on. The server side, you have to go really in depth into that. And VCP 6 is not that tough course if you're good with 410, 411, 412. You know the networking inside out of Windows. So VCP would not be a challenge for you. Okay, so let's just go for, so this error is coming to everyone? Yes. So let's just shut down this server. I just wanted to show first the error, and then let's just shut down the machine, member server 1, and then shut down the machine, member server 2 as well. Now, what is our objective here? We need to make Hyper-V work, but Hyper-V is inside VMware Workstation, and VMware Workstation is a hypervisor 2 from VMware, and Hyper-V, which we are about to use, is a Hypervisor 2 from Microsoft. So they are both rival companies. So one will not let the other work. So there's a small configuration change we're gonna make, and for that we need to access where this folder is located in our laptop. So if I go to this server, I want please right click on the member server 1 first. Let's just go through member server 1 and do some changes there. So when you go to member server 1, you can see options. Everyone on options, right? So when you go to options, you see general settings here, and on the right side down, do everyone see working directory? Working directory, right? Right? Working directory, everyone sees that, right? So, well, select all, Control C, select all, copy that, and on your physical machine, go to run. On your physical machine, go to run, and just type that or paste that path here like this, right? You should be inside that machine's folder. And what are we looking for there? So it should look like this now. Everyone should be inside like this, right?
Yeah.
So what are we looking for? Everyone sees a .vmx file like this, or if you don't see extensions, everyone sees extension first of all like this, as I am seeing the extensions. If not, this is the way to get extensions. Go to view like this and go to file name extensions. Just click that box and you will see all the extensions. So everyone is on VMX? .vmx. Everyone was able to find .vmx? Okay. So
Option?
yeah, so do you see extensions like this? No, so go for view. Look at this. View.
No, I'm at the front. I mean for
Mm-hmm.
virtual machine setting.
Virtual machine setting. Okay.
Go to general.
Yeah. Hey, you're in good hands, man.
Excuse me, I have VMX, but the name is different. It's just server 02. That VMX.
Yeah. So because I named
Yes,
it.
you use that long name.
Yeah. Mhm. So if you right click, you need to open the VMX from Notepad, right? Yeah, you're there? Okay. All right. Thank you. So open with, and do you see Notepad like this? When you right click VMX, you have to open it in Notepad, and then I'm gonna give you a code. Just put that code in the end of the file, and you'll be good, right? So open the Notepad, and you should see this all VMX there, right? So if we go to the way, the last line, exactly last line, clean shutdown equals true, right?
Yeah.
So everyone sees this, clean shutdown equal true. Now we need to put that code. So I'm just gonna give the code, guys. Just paste those 3 lines of code here, and then we're gonna have our Hyper-V working fine. So I'm just gonna go to the PDF document. I'm gonna send that PDF as well, but I'm just trying to copy that and give it to you. The code, there's the code. So these 3 lines we need to add, and I'm just sending you these 3 lines now. Copy and
Create
mhm.
PW page for us.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go there now. Yep. So it's notepad.pw and 7412. Oh, we didn't. Okay, should be 70-412, right? Hey, how come it's not there? Oh, it's still there, right? 7412. Oh yeah, you got it. So the code. I'm just gonna create some space here. And okay, the 3 lines are there, guys. Don't copy now. Don't copy now. Don't copy it. Let enter. Now. Okay, it should be like this on the notepad, right? So just copy these 3 lines and exactly paste them. So I'm just gonna copy from here, and we'll go back to that notepad, which is open on our physical machine, right? And here it is. So Control V, and it should look like this now, right? So everyone did that, right? You did done, Murthy, including Murthy. Okay. Now when you say not, when you're doing not, it's kind of suspicious. So Scroll down, 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 and just get that code and paste it like this. These three lines, right? So if you do that, if you have done that, that's the same exercise we need to do for the second machine. And do not start the first machine. Okay, guys. So do not start the first machine. I'm just gonna close that now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What machine is this one?
Member server.
Number one.
So it should not be a domain controller. It should be those any one of those two member servers. Oh, even if you did the domain controller, it's not gonna disrupt any functions of the domain controller, but you have to do it on the second and third machine. Second and third machine, guys. So even if it is done for first machine, it doesn't matter. It's gonna just let the Hyper-V install. That's all, right? So nothing, no harm done. So second and third machines, guys. So if these three lines are added, close the notepad. It's gonna ask for save. Tick save here, and you're good. But do not start that machine now. There's one extra step. I just want to show you that extra step before we go to the second machine. The extra step is this. So do we all see this screen 410? Hardware and processor. Second step is, first step is put the code in VMX. Second step is go to the shutdown machine, still that shutdown machine, go to the processors and just turn on this middle one. Virtualize Intel VTX, right? Turn on the only the middle one, right?
It's like
In new computers we do
install
BIOS.
You have to go to
But
BIOS
and exactly that thing.
Mine is grayed out.
No, turn it off. First you have to turn it off. On a working machine it's gonna be grayed out. You have to shut down the machine. The second one, right? Second and third. Yeah, it's gonna gray out if it's turned on. So if virtualize Intel VT is selected like this on the first machine, press OK, right? And now you can start, and we can go with the second machine which is shut down. So first machine I'm starting now after doing these three changes, right? Two changes. First change was enter the code in the VMX file. Second change is on the processor, just turn on the middle option which is Intel VT. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. Now the same option on the third server, which is the second member server or the third machine, right? So it is shut down already. Anyone on the third machine? Right? Right click? Yeah. So right click, settings, and go to options. Do we see the working directory of the third machine now? So Control A, or right click select all, and then right click copy. And then go to the physical machine, run again. This time we just Control V or paste the third machine, right? Press OK. VMX. Oh, you're already done? Cool. VMX, if it's showing to everyone, is it showing to everyone? Oh, okay. I think everyone knows what to do. So notepad. Yep. So, and if those two things are done, yeah, turn it on. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for the code again from that site, and there's the code. And guys, do not copy the top two lines. Okay, but that's good that you've added the explanation here for Hyper-V activation script. Okay, so let's just go for the third machine. So for the notepad, I'm just gonna go to the last line, and after the last line, hey, why the last line here is not showing clean shutdown true? Anyway, it's a different VMX file, I guess. And just add the code. Hey, I'm on the VMX file. Yep, I'm on. Okay, so it should look like this for the second machine as well. Close, save, and yeah, if you still have right clicked on the second machine, processors, virtualize. Anyone logged in, try to install Hyper-V? Well, let's do it together actually, because there are some more options we need to discuss. So the first, actually the member server, is it started for everyone? So let's log in from the member server. Yes, Murthy? Go to view. Ouch.
Does that mean after?
Disjoin and join.
Right below that. The third one. Right. That one. I mean
Oh, the new one that you added. But
second member.
yeah,
Fine. But
first member server, because we snapshot back, sometimes it just breaks the trust relationship and it does not recognize anymore. So log in from local admin and disjoin and join. My favorite sentence. Sometimes it does that. Sometimes it happens.
yeah, I did
Okay.
snapshot.
Oh.
Sort of them.
Okay.
It's from the same date.
Oh, okay.
And one more specific.
Oh.
At the bottom.
Okay, so I hope both servers are started and you're able to log in and add Hyper-V. So just going for
That one, the server or something. It's server 03 now. Right?
logging in from both servers. So that was for the second server, Renfrew? Second server? Murthy, for the second server? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Alright, so both member servers are started and logged in, right? I'm gonna just try to go for dashboard on the first member server. Is join? You're doing that, right? Okay, in the process. So I'm just trying to look for that if the error comes again. So dashboard, add rows and features. Guys, don't go ahead other than the Hyper-V area where we got the error. If you can go ahead a little better, I mean, like on that you don't get an error, just stay there, right?
That's the second.
After not getting the error. So this is the first member server.
Oh, first one. So which is server 2.
Server 2. Yeah, I should say server 2, yeah, instead of first member server. So first goes to domain controller.
It's the main controller.
Yeah. So server 2, next. It's a trick, man. You have to grab. Okay, so server 2, I'm just trying to go and click Hyper-V again just like last time and add features, and the error should not come, and it did not come. Yay. Okay, so now it did not come for you, right?
No.
Cool. And I hope you did not finish the installation
No.
already. Hey, you're with us.
Just one step.
One step ahead. Okay. So yeah, on the features we don't install anything, but now I'm gonna try to see who's on this page, so we could go ahead. The next page just tells about Hyper-V manager and administration. So yeah, who's there?
I got
This
an error.
Oh, what's the error?
Same one?
Same.
Ooh.
This one.
Hyper-V is already checked.
No, then you have to just do those steps again, or make sure
So,
if you miss something.
first
Yeah.
server,
Mhm.
I have to active,
Server 2, which is server 2. Yeah. First server is not domain controller.
not the domain controller.
Yeah, you did it on domain controller. So undo that. No, don't undo that. It's okay. Domain controller is not harmed
So
at all.
which server we can off?
Server 2 and server 3.
Server 2 and server 3.
Yeah. So which? Okay.
It's a complicated-
So I should not have used the term first server.
Oh no, it's a trick.
It's a trick question.
Member server.
First member server I did say, but
I heard
the
it.
word first confused the whole thing.
Member server. FMS.
FMS. More confusing, but still.
So,
What's-
so we're gonna install the Hyper-V, right?
Yep, on both. So Murthy, you're shutting down the server 2 and server 3?
Server 2 and 3.
Okay, and Ranful, you're working on server 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give it a little resume the video. So first of all, this is the next screen now. Everyone sees 2 Ethernet cards or 1 Ethernet card?
One.
Everyone sees 1, right? So let's just click that.
FMS 0.
Now, yeah, and it's going to create a virtual switch. So you're on this screen?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
log in.
Alright. So next. And now this screen is the very crucial one screen here for our lab objective. Everyone on this screen, first of all, right? Okay, yeah. And Murthy is about to go there, reach there, and see the finish line and things. Okay, allow this server to send and receive live migrations of virtual machines, right? So if we select that, and we need to select that for the exam objectives, right? So there are two options here. Now the first is use credential security support provider or CRED SSP. Second is Kerberos. Use credential security support provider. So scenario is you're a system administrator and the data center is, suppose you're on first floor, data center is suppose on 10th floor. Now data center has a server that has the Hyper-V installed, and your boss says, okay, since we selected this option when we were installing 6 months back or 1 year back the Hyper-V, we selected this option. So what you need to do, the boss says, go do a migration of 2 virtual machines from Hypervisor 1, Hyper-V 1 to Hyper-V 2 server, right? So let me just create the diagram as well so we can understand it better. So the boss says that do a migration from here to here, right? And the virtual machine is, actually this is better. So there are 2 virtual machines here. Now if you have 2 virtual machines or 10 virtual machines, doesn't matter, but the thing is that if you selected CRED SSP, what you need to do is you need to go to that machine, go to the data center, put on the jacket because it's really cold up there, and then first you need approvals and everything just for the migration. You cannot do it remotely. Yes, we can do it remotely, but since you selected the CRUD SSP option, the interface of the Hyper-V should be in front of you. You cannot just remotely connect to that and do the migration. You have to go to the data center and then do the live migration of the virtual machines by sitting in front of the dashboard here. And if we go to the second option here, what you see here is Kerberos. The Kerberos option is all about, so this is all about remotely and securely connecting you to the Hyper-V machine and then starting or initiating the live migration. So of course in the production environment you will not be going for live migration every time to the data center itself and doing the live migration, initiating that migration. So this is an option you can use, but when you have the servers in front of you, right? And you don't have to remotely connect from a remote desktop and do that. But the servers are not in front of you, then you use this option, use Kerberos. And it when it detects, Hyper-V detects that somebody remotely connected to it, then it asks the Active Directory, who's this guy? Does this system administrator have privileges to initiate the live migration or not? So if we have selected this option and you remotely connect and try to start a live migration, it won't let you. It will give an error. It will be a security error. I cannot identify this remotely connected user. If you had selected this option in the start, when you were configuring that, then only you will be able to remotely initiate a live migration of Hyper-V machine. So now my question to you is that, hello, hey,
So late every day.
oh yeah,
Don't worry, I catch you.
yeah, follow the video, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so my question to you is, which option is supposed to be selected here in the production environment when your boss tells you to initiate a live migration?
Depends on company policy.
Take second one.
Okay, you say second one, you said depends on company policy. There's a difference of opinion here. First,
I guess the other one's more secure. But then isn't the first one, you still need to log in and
log in directly, yes. Like log in from the dashboard, from the screen itself. It must not detect that remote connections have been initiated, remote desktop connection has been initiated, and somebody remotely connected and trying to just click and start that live migration. So if that is not the case, you're not using remote desktop to connect or any other remote tool, then it will have to detect that local login was initiated. Through local login, somebody logged in and initiated the live migration. So you have to have a local login, right? Or on the system login. Then it's CRUD SSP. So company policy, yes, you're right. But normally the servers are always in the data center where they are supposed to be, properly air conditioned and secure.
But definitely, in this scenario, for
Mhm,
example,
yeah, sure.
but in this our scenario,
Mhm.
security is not the important thing,
Mhm.
and use servers, I think, it's more secure.
Yeah, you don't have to then visit the data center just to initiate a migration. You don't have to visit the data center. And remotely, you're getting you always get a laptop, right? System administration
Yeah,
administrators. So they give you laptop wherever you are. Just initiate the live migration from there. But obviously, you have to remotely connect, right? So use Kerberos is a bit lengthy process to actually configure the whole process here. But of course, this will be the job scenario actually. So it's not only the exam scenario, but we are going for the job scenario as well. Exam scenario, we can just go for the easiest one and just go ahead. Although we're still gonna use that, but we need to know how to configure it at least for the production environment, right? So for production environment, so we're gonna just go for use Kerberos here and try to see what are the extra 4 or 5 steps for the job environment and job scenario, right? So otherwise this is very easy. Let's just go ahead. These two options have been selected, right? So next. Okay, so default location of virtual hard disk files. Normally it's a remote storage. And here we don't have a remote storage, so that's why we're using the local hard disk of this virtual machine. But what do you mean by remote storage here? What is the difference between SAN and NAS? At once I'm asking a question. What is the difference between SAN and NAS? Okay, so there's a spelling difference, but other than that, what is next big difference? So the difference between SAN and NAS is about size and money. So okay, if you have these 3 servers here, and you have here SAN, which is actually a storage area network, right? So
Is the difference between them
yeah,
about rate?
both have RAID. Both offers
Or
RAID.
the difference between SAN and NAS is just about a rate or something else?
No, it's NAS is like network attached storage, and SAN is actually storage area network. So it is actually a separate network of lots of tower servers or rack servers having a lot of hard disks. Hard disk, it's huge amount of hard disks. So SAN is very expensive solution.
SAN.
SAN, storage area network. It's a full network of storage only. Storage area network. NAS could be a bunch of disks. Could be when you go to Connect computers, you can see 10 disks or 5 disk enclosure, and that enclosure has network cable connected to it, right? So a storage area network is very expensive. It has multiple tower servers or rack servers, and the only thing they have is huge amount of hard disks, right?
I have
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
some one people's house. We had some USB,
Small, yeah.
not small USB, I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
hard, SSD hard,
Okay.
2 terabyte, 3 terabyte. And put on the different, something the box like a different array
Yeah.
inside, and just one USB connected to TV.
Yeah. So
It's
that is NAS. Exactly. Network attached storage. So a storage that is attached to a network. But SAN is a separate network of just storage itself.
It has IP,
Storage area network. It has its own
IP
switches. So
firewall,
there are two.
switches.
There are then 2 major types: fiber optic and iSCSI. Right. So it has fiber optic SAN is like you must have fiber optic switches. Fiber optic. You must have switches for that kind of cabling switches, and you must have HBA, which are network cards, storage network cards, storage NICs, and they are specially designed for. So you put if you want the fiber cables to reach the servers itself, you need to put those HBA network cards there, and they're going to offer the storage connectivity between the server and the remote disks that are present there in the storage area network. So if we go for some kind of picture here, so it's SAN solutions and oops, not maps, wrong one. So you would see this huge amount of storage. These are the hard disks, right? So these are the hard disks that we can just connect remotely and then can use that here. So if you have these amount of hard disks here, of course you can just store a lot of stuff over the network. But over the network, when the data travels, it must have some good network cables and bandwidth, right? So now this is the storage area network that we have, and you can see all hard disks are there only, right? Hard disk after hard disk after hard disk, and this is just a small enclosure. Okay, not small, it's big, but there are bigger enclosures, right? So this is SAN. The NAS is just a small bunch of disks, and they're like 5, 10, 20 disks here, and then you can just make it as a remote storage. But what is the benefit of remote storage? Anyone knows that? So when we are just installing right now a Hyper-V solution here, so the virtual machines that are going to be installed, the VMs or virtual machines, they're gonna have their VHD access, which are their hard disks. The best practice in the production environment is the hard disks have to be remotely available, remotely placed in these disks, right? So the best practice would be when you're installing a virtual machine, it's going to ask for a path. Now I'm going to show you that screen again where we are right now. It's asking for a path, and look at that. The path is C drive, right? It should not be local C drive. Otherwise, if this physical server goes down, it takes down the machine with it, virtual machine. And what's the benefit of the system administrator then if you did not make it highly available? So if you store, okay, this is the same concept we discussed on failover clustering. Failover clustering, that's the same remote storage, right? So this is what you do with the remote storage. Instead of this, our path could have been like this, you know, over the network, some server name and then some shared folder name, right? And there the hard disk would be stored. So they would not be actually stored here in local C drives, but in our case we are just doing it like that. But in a production environment, if you're setting up a Hyper-V server, you must use remote storage. If your boss says, okay, just set up a Hyper-V server, you should be suggesting that. Do we have a remote storage? Otherwise this will happen. Do you know that? The boss says yes, 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 go ahead. You saved your job, right? But if you don't suggest that, and later it takes the physical machine crash, takes down your virtual machines as well, you're at fault because you never informed those guys that, hey, we're not supposed to do it like this. I mean, we're not supposed to put it on C drive, right? We're supposed to put it on remote storage. But okay, let's go ahead. This is a C drive, but I just wanted to go for that production environment scenario that you should not be going for C drive if you're dealing with virtualization. Virtualization, always the VHDX or the hard disks or the virtual machines must never be locally stored. They must be stored always remote on the remote storage, always, right? Otherwise you inform them, and in writing you inform them. Don't inform them verbally, because bosses deny your verbal warnings in next 2 minutes. That's it, gone. I never heard you. So always in writing say that this is not a good solution. Okay, anyway, so next, and then click restart. If it wants to, then it's okay. Otherwise, install. Now this is installing on the first server. Let's go for the second server and do the dashboard and go for the add roles and features. Do the same thing again, same configuration, same steps. Next, are you on the second server? All right, so next, roles, Hyper-V, add features. Next, Ethernet, yes, we need it. So it's going to create a virtual switch inside. That's the 7410 topic where we really played with the virtual switch, right? Here also we're going to try to understand all what's going on, but this is going to create one virtual switch to which all the virtual machines will be connected to the outside world, through which so next, now on this screen, allow the server to send and receive, right? Everyone there, including Murthy?
Yeah.
Hey, way to go, man. Murthy's flying today. So use Kerberos here, click that, next, and next. Restart, yes, install. I hope it doesn't restart actually. Oh, it does. It restarted for me. Anyone else as well? Oh, restart for everyone. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, good question.
Yep.
How many virtual machines can you install in server 2020?
For data center, it's unlimited. For standard edition, 2. So, and this is again the hypervisor 2 we're installing, yeah?
So if you have a data center, and let's say in your company, then you can install as much as you want.
The virtual machine itself, creation, unlimited. Inside an operating system,
Yeah, you need like
license for that. So, virtual machine creation itself is as many. And the limitation is the hardware, resources. If your RAM is 8 GB, you cannot go more than, you should not go for more than 3 or 2 or 3 virtual machines.
I think VMware is every time you create a virtual machine, you need a license,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
No, virtual machine for VMware,
I think so.
ESXi is free. ESXi is a hypervisor just like Hyper-V here. VMware has ESXi, right? It's free. But virtual machine, if you want to add ESXi to vCenter, that's the central application server, which controls many physical servers, right? That vCenter, you need a lot of licenses, and that's very expensive. That's where Hyper-V gets the market for those who don't want to spend on vCenter, right? There are 2 VMware classes going on, one on Friday and one on Sunday as well. You're most welcome to join them. Thank you very much. Okay, that was message from the sponsors. Okay, so let's just go ahead and log in from our installation for both. But yeah, it's you can create as many virtual machines there as well. Limitation is hardware on the ESXi as well. The thing is that when you want to manage it remotely, that's where we need to spend a lot of money to get that licensing. If it's a large company, yes, then it's a lot of money. Okay, so well, it just completes the Hyper-V installation. Close. On the second one also, when we log in, it's just completing the rest of the installation. Okay, once it is installed, now we are ready to create some basic configuration there and go for some step-by-step requirement checklist that we need to fulfill. So first of all, on server 2, right? On server 2, let's open the Hyper-V console. Hyper-V console here, right click, and Hyper-V Manager. Or tools or Hyper-V Manager, it's the same thing, right? Hyper-V Manager there as well, right? Same thing. So everyone on Hyper-V Manager? Okay, so when you double click that, and now we can create quickly one virtual machine on server 2 Hyper-V, right? So on server 2, for Murthy it's server 3, right? For you, right? Or server 4, it doesn't matter, it's okay. So but on any one server, we're creating a virtual machine because we need to migrate it to the second server, right? So okay, new virtual machine, everyone there? Now this is inside the Hyper-V. We're creating a new virtual machine. Next, and virtual machine name VM01. Again, it's offering that store the virtual machine in a different location. So we would have had that basic location somewhere else already showing here. While during the installation of Hyper-V itself, if we had defined a remote storage, it would have shown here like this here. But anyway, VM01, everyone did that. Next. Now there is generation 1 and generation 2 type of virtual machines. Generation 1 is that Hyper-V was introduced in Windows 2008, right? So if you still have, and many companies will have, Windows 2008 based Hyper-V. Okay, so Windows 2008 based Hyper-V, if you want this virtual machine to migrate to Windows 2008 based Hyper-V, then choose generation 1. That's for backward compatibility. If you don't have Windows 2008 Hyper-V, right, then we go for generation 2. That has more features, latest features, but it's not gonna migrate to Windows 2008 Hyper-V. If you have that, always go for generation 1, doesn't hurt. And many companies, so anyone knows if your friend's company or your company has Hyper-V, first of all, You don't have Hyper-V, right?
If you-
VMware, right? It's VMware. Okay. Hey, they're spending a lot of money. It's a hospital. So, but okay.
Public money.
Oh, they're spending a lot of public money. Cool. Well, hey. Oh, it's a government hospital, of course. You guys are government employees. Come on, you're rich guys. Already good.
But they are the best.
Huh?
Everyone thinks that.
Okay.
Everyone think that, but they are not.
Maybe the manager,
Managers are
Managers, yeah.
really?
They are sun.
director,
Oh,
Sunshine.
sunshine.
sunshine. That's what you see all the
Yeah, that's a.
Okay. No, when you ask the managers and directors, they are always like staring back at you. You think I'm rich? So you have to define rich to everyone. What is rich? So even the director will say he's not rich. But okay. Anyway, generation 2. Next. So we're selecting generation 2 now. We don't have a backward compatibility issue here. So generation 2. Next. Okay, what is this? 512 is the starting memory. Total memory of our Hyper-V machines are 2 GB, I think. In physical servers, suppose we had deployed Hyper-V on physical servers, we would have had 64 GB, 128 GB, 512 GB, 1 terabyte even memory, right? Some companies have 1 terabyte. I was like, wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question now.
Mm-hmm.
Can we install Hyper-V, just Hyper-V as a
Mm-hmm.
bare
Oh yeah, sure.
without the server?
Oh yeah, we can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Wasn't planned, so we're gonna do that next class, no problem. When you have a test as well.
Yeah, I wanna.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
Just like the same as VMware.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Actually, this demand never came from any course, and this is good. I'm always into stunts. It's not a stunt; it's actual. We will enjoy doing that actually.
Can we also have
Mm-hmm.
like let's say server 4 as our virtual our hard disk location?
Remote storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be even done now. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, remote storage. Then we have to set up 4 machines, just like before, for the that failover clustering. So we're gonna set up. So okay, that's good. 1 DC, 2 virtual machines, still virtual machines, but with Hyper-V hypervisor 1, right? Hypervisor 1 will be like this. Hypervisor 1 will directly install there, right? This is Hypervisor 2 we are doing because it's on top of an operating system, right? So we're going to do that. If you just want to see the installation, that's good. Otherwise, we're going to do that. Then let's leave it to next class, because then we're still in the middle of it, but definitely that's a good idea. We should just check that too. Okay, so here, what does that mean, use dynamic memory? Anyone has any idea? What is dynamic memory?
It can be expanded by itself if you use memory.
Exactly.
Expanded.
So it says that startup memory, which means that minimum this virtual machine should be given this much memory. Don't go down lower than this. This is what we are telling the Hyper-V itself, that don't do this, don't go lower than this. But it's gonna expand to, you can specify an amount from 32 MB through 856 MB, because we already have the Hyper-V host itself has 2 GB of total. It should have a huge amount of memory, so we could just give it some better base to start on. But it's going to be given by the host any from the total memory. It's going to be dynamically given more memory whenever this virtual machine needs it, right? So dynamic just means that the host will itself try to provide, or the hypervisor will try to provide this virtual machine any amount of memory that it needs, which it can physically give, right? From the physical memory, whatever is available and free, it can give, right? So the host memory should already be very good. So let's just check this mark here, dynamic memory, and keep it to the 512 and next. Okay, so connection, what are those? So here's that virtual switch. When you selected that Ethernet card, that Ethernet card is supposed to be the physical network card on that Hyper-V, right? It's supposed to be, we're pretending it's a physical machine and that network card was a physical network card. So it created already a virtual switch here. You know why a virtual, virtual switch is needed for what? What's the purpose of a virtual switch or switch? Whatever is the purpose of a physical switch, it virtual switch just acts the same way. So what is the purpose of physical switch? To connect wired machines together, right? Virtual switch to connect virtual machines and let them communicate with each other and outside world, right? Virtual switch, same thing. So when we go for the installation of the first virtual machine, it has to be connected to a virtual switch to send its data to the physical network card and through that to the outside world, to other machines, right? So there's that virtual switch. If we create a second virtual machine, third virtual machine, fourth virtual machine, 10 virtual machines, they will all use that one virtual switch, because virtual switch is supposed to connect all virtual machines, right? Okay, next. Now, create a new virtual hard disk, use an existing virtual hard disk, attach a virtual hard disk later. We just need a hard disk, of course, with it, but it is 127 GB. Will it be thick provisioning or thin provisioning? So thick provisioning, we already know it's going to occupy the whole space right away. And 127 GB, I don't think we have 127 GB. We gave it 100 GB, right? For the default our virtual machines for Hyper-V. So this is thin provisioning. It's not going to occupy a physical space. It's going to just start from whatever we install, right? So we're gonna leave it like that. This is a VHDX and it's okay. So next. And we're not installing operating system now. We already have 2 GB only memory there, but we're gonna start the virtual machine without an operating system even, and we're gonna try to live migrate a started machine. If a started machine is about, the files of a started machine, if you try to move that, it's supposed to give an error. But in a live migration scenario, it's going to be started, but it's going to still live migrate and move all its files to the other server. So yeah, we're gonna install operating system later. Next, and then this description, click finish. So one virtual machine created, right? Hey, are we okay with this heat scenario here? You don't feel heat, right? Or it's not hot. Today is supposed to be good. From tomorrow we're gonna be like, ugh. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be warm tomorrow. It's gonna be heat warning is already given. So because your side of fan is not even on, and you guys are okay. Wow, cool. Now you're conscious that it's not on, but anyway. So you want it on? Oh, well, it doesn't. Yeah. Oh, it's. No, it's okay. Okay. So okay. So yeah. Now, what is the scenario to live migrate? Is what is live migration? Live means machine is started, right? The files of the virtual machine is in the memory. It's being worked on, right? And then you migrate a started machine, whether it is started with an operating system or without an operating system. As long as it is started, its files are actually, the configuration files are on the memory or the RAM of this Hyper-V or this virtual machine, right? So right click this VM01 like this. Do you see this start here? Let's just start it. So CPU usage, it's showing 0%, now 3%. Assigned memory is 512, 88% CPU usage. So it's just starting. If you want to click connect here, then it's gonna just show us the window here where it's, when it starts, it's just gonna start searching for network boot. It's not gonna find anything. As long as it's started, it serves our purpose here. We could just provide the operating system here, but that's gonna just slow down our computer as well. Plus there are long steps, and if there is an operating system here or there is no operating system here, the machine is in the live migration format right now. It is started, its files are in the memory, and then we can just assume that the users are connected, the connections are there. But if we are able to migrate from one server here to the other server, this one virtual machine, while it is started, this is the same steps you can take for a virtual machine that has an operating system, that has all the applications, and then you are live migrating it, and the users have no idea that the machine got migrated actually. While the users are still doing their work, the machine is moving from here to there over the network, right? So if the machine is started, it's just going to keep on starting, or okay, there it is, all the messages, the PXE network boot, and it cannot find that. So this is good enough for testing our live migration, or for the scenario that is the machine live first. Yes, it is live. Its files are in the memory of the Hyper-V, which means it's okay. We can live migrate, or we can consider it as a live migration. So the VM01 is started, but we haven't configured the live migration on both Hyper-Vs here. Both Hyper-Vs don't know that they are supposed to be live migrating a virtual machine. So those settings are still not on. So we need to set it up, right? Before that, now comes the slide. Yay! So that's quick migration. The QM process saves the state of the running guest VM, or is our virtual machine that we just created, to disk. So saves the state of the running guest VM to disk or shared storage. We don't have a shared storage now, but it is what we can do. Moves the storage connection from the source physical server to the destination server. Restores the state of the running guest VM to the destination server. So let me just draw that on the diagram. The speed of QM or quick migration is dependent upon how much memory needs to be written onto disk, and the speed of the network connection between the source and the destination. So of course your speed of the network, if it's a fiber network, of course it's going to be much faster. If it's Ethernet network, still Ethernet cables are there. If they are best quality cables, if the switches are good, latest switches with good speed, so of course then it will be faster. But what happens in the background? If we go to the diagram back there, am I recording that? Yep. So what happens here now? Suppose we start the live migration. So what's going to happen, and we have just one machine here. So when the machine starts migrating, its hard disk files are also here, placed here, right? So if I just go for this diagram and show that this is the hard disk of this machine. So what actually happens here is, as soon as the virtual machine starts migrating, its hard disk gets copied at once before or during the migration. At the start of the migration, the hard disk gets copied there already, right? And then the machine starts migrating, and then it migrates. As soon as the migration is over, the hard disk from the source is gone, deleted. Now what's the benefit of this kind of configuration? As soon as the machine starts, the copy of the hard disk is created there exactly. What's the benefit here? Why is the hard disk already there, copied, while the machine has started or in the process of being migrated?
Speed.
Hard disk copy is created there already, or at once it gets created while the machine is started. Speed, it's actually going to slow down that process. If the hard disk was not copied and the machine and hard disk are moving together,
The resources,
mm-hmm.
the live
migration, yeah.
like the people who access or who's accessing it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
may notice like a slowness, but
Yeah.
it's
Still moving.
accessible.
Okay. So it is accessible, but there is one more reason for that. That hard disk is copied here and there while the migration process has begun and ended. At the end only, the source hard disk is deleted. Otherwise, this machine's hard disk,
Just because of data security.
Actually, creating two hard disks is kind of, you're exposing it more. There's another very big reason why two hard disks get created and then one hard disk gets deleted at the end of the migration. What could be that reason? Nobody pointed out till now.
Overlapping.
Nobody can.
Overlapping information.
Overlapping?
Yeah.
No.
Well, the target
Yeah.
was
Nobody.
the old one, and then when it's done, then it switches from home to the new one.
So what's the benefit here?
They
to the phone.
That's the question.
That's the process.
Yeah, but so that I guess the users.
No, but the users are always connected, and the user might not know other than a little freezing there. And so the benefit is, in case there is disconnectivity, in case the process fails actually. So maybe half of the hard disk has been copied there. If it was a cut and paste process for the actual virtual machine files here, and somehow the network disconnectivity happened and the virtual machine has to go back, the actual disk is still there, right? You never lost the data, right? And if it went there, yes, the hard disk is already there as well. Now the machine will be connected to this hard disk, and this hard disk will be automatically deleted, which means that the data was never at risk. There was 2 copies here. If in the middle there was disconnectivity and the machine LiveMigration failed, the disk is already there. It never was cut and paste. It was a copy paste, right? And then cut later, deletion, right?
Is it by default that it cut?
By default, yeah, it happens by default that it will create a copy of it during the migration process only.
No, I mean
Yeah.
it deletes
After that, it deletes that, because then we don't need that there. So this is a quick migration just for this scenario where we don't have a remote storage. Here we don't have a remote storage. This is for small to medium sized businesses that cannot afford a remote storage, right? Then the hard disk is on both while migration is going on, and we don't have a remote storage. If we had a remote storage, it would have been so easy to do that, because in remote storage the story is like this. I mean, the hard disk is already here on the remote storage, right? Hard disk is here for that machine. So, and the connectivity is already there as well. So this physical server is connected to this storage. This physical server is also connected to this storage, right? So when the virtual machine transfers from here to there, the connection to the disk was never lost. This server is also connected to this disk, and this server is also connected. Machine can migrate as many times as it wants. Remote storage on remote, its hard disk is always intact and working fine, right? Remote storage, it's a very easy thing to do. The hard disk never knows what happened. The data, only the connections of the users who are connecting to this machine, they are moved, and the virtual machine and the RAM content is moved, and the configuration is moved only. But the hard disk remains remotely on this storage.
Okay, so the other one is just a scenario of what we.
Yeah, what we are going to do, and what Microsoft has offered to the small business. This is an option for small business that they don't have the remote storage. They cannot afford to have a remote storage, right? So the copy will be created for both. So Microsoft is saying, hey, small business, you can still live migrate anytime you want, and you don't have to risk losing your data disk or your disk that has a client data. You still will not lose that, right? It will, even if in case of failure there are 2 copies, you never lost the data at all, right? So yeah,
Sorry, for the remote and
yeah, remote storage is this. Yeah, sure. So remote storage is that when we install the Hyper-V with remote storage options. So the Hyper-V itself, this is a Hyper-V machine, right? So it has connectivity always to the remote storage. It has that remote connectivity to that. So this Hyper-V, we have this Hyper-V server 2, and this Hyper-V server 3, right? So if we were installing Hyper-V with remote storage, we would have given the path of this remote storage here, which could be any IP address, 192.168. Just like in failover clustering, we had a remote storage path, and target and initiators were there. So initiator was requesting the hard disk connectivity. So it was 192.168.200.4 was remote storage IP, right? So we were connecting. So in physical environment, always the physical servers are always, or hypervisors are always connected to a remote storage here. So when you install a virtual machine, this path is already available for the hard disks of all the virtual machines. This path, when in doing the installation, you just have to give that path, or this path is already showing up there. So when the virtual machine gets installed here, its hard disk always automatically gets installed here. and virtual machine has all the connectivity. This is called, this is a SAN solution. This is a SAN. So virtual machine is always connected over the network to its own hard disk here, right?
It's like it mirrors whatever you have there. You know?
So the client connections, so suppose this is a client connection. So they connect to the server here, and whatever they save is actually being saved here on the hard disk, right? And hard disk is not locally present here. Hard disk is present remotely here on the remote storage. So when the machine moves, the connectivity from of machine to the hard disk moves again, as well as the user's connection to the machine. They both move. User connectivity from here moves with the machine, and the hard disk connectivity moves with the machine as well. So users never know that there was a migration going on in the background. They are just connected, right? So remote storage always the best solution, but small businesses can never afford that. I mean, it's expensive, but could never afford that. Now you can convert a Windows 2012 machine to a sandbox. We know that. VMware also is offering this solution of local disks, local storage. You put the disk not on remote storage. Oh, you don't have remote storage? Just put the disk here, but we're gonna have a mirror of that, as you use the word, we will have a mirror of that here as well. And if you have 3 servers, we're gonna have exact copy here as well. So the small businesses cannot, they have number of servers. So VMware and Hyper-V say, why don't you just use your local storage, but there will be copies maintained for those disks on your physical servers. That's how you don't lose your data still while not investing on a SAN solution, right? So here, now we understand that, right? That the hard disk copy will be created here during the migration, but it will be just, a copy will be there as long as the migration is going on. Because it's a local copy, it has to be 2 while the machine is migrating. And the user connectivity will be still there while the machine is migrating, but the hard disks, 2 copies will be there. And as soon as the migration is done, the hard disk source, hard disk will be deleted. So we understand the solution or scenario? Yes. Okay. Thank you for the reply. So, yeah, before we leave for a half an hour break, which is not fair for, come on, guys. You go for half an hour. It's supposed to be 10-minute break. So,
In
yeah.
server 01,
Mhm.
domain controller,
The main controller.
there's probably a way to find out, for example, server 03 or server 010, anything. They have installed Hyper-V. And they
From
are-
from
and they
domain
are
controller.
migrating these process. How can we find out?
From domain
Except
controller.
event viewer.
No, that's the local log files on the Hyper-V server that's going to tell you what's going on. Domain controller is not supposed to be that kind of monitoring server. Monitoring servers do tell you minute by minute details of what's going on, what movement is going on, what changes, modifications are going on any machine. So for that, you would install a SCOM server, System Center Operations Manager, SCOM, right? So that server will tell you every minute what's going on. The logs will be telling you, and the emails will be coming you. Domain controller is just for authentication, authorization, and some level of auditing. Auditing, when you enable, then it tells you, okay, this happened, but not in that detail. That migration went on and then it happened and stuff, right?
So does it,
Mhm.
this SCOM server is in Microsoft features?
No, it's a separate license server, monitoring server, and it's very good monitoring. Its only purpose is monitoring, and tells you each minute detail of what's going on if you enable it to that level.
Okay, that server or migrating server can tell us, for example, users, which one connected to which sites.
Oh yeah. It can when it comes to monitoring, it tracks modifications, changes, and informs right away. If the free disk space is 80% left, it will start emailing. So if it is 90% or the disk space is gone, then it just comes to your home and then punches. Are you getting up or what? No words. Monitoring is very extensive and good. In Scotiabank, that server really saved our jobs many times. because of the proactive monitoring. It tells you before the disaster happens also in some scenarios. It's so good. But yeah, Active Directory won't be,
How do you
it's not for
install
that.
this type of server?
Oh, that's
Do you
separate
need a
installation.
special-
Just like Exchange server.
third-party software or-
No, no. Yeah, it's a separate software, just like Exchange server.
Uh-huh.
Exchange server is separate license, separate software, separate course. SCOM is a separate server, license, and course. It's big server. So, and just like SCCM. Okay, guys. So
I have a question.
try to make 10-minute break if you're, because two guys are standing now. So this means it's a break. So yeah, you're saying? Hmm?
Yeah, so if you have a
Hmm?
VM machine, let's say I want to back this up and I want to put this in VMware, will it work?
So you mean that Hyper-V machine you want to put on VMware?
Yeah, because the file format is different.
Yeah, there the hardest file name is VMDK. Here the hardest file name is VHDX.
That's the one I'm
Mhm.
talking about. The VDI is VirtualBox.
No, VirtualBox.
Yeah, the file format of the
VirtualBox is different.
VirtualBox is just like it's also a hypervisor 2.
yeah. But if you save the one, it shows VHD. Sorry, the Hyper-V is VHD, but then VMware is file format
VMDK. Yeah.
and the VirtualBox is VDI.
Ah, so it has an extension called VDI.
Extension.
Okay, but VDI is actually a
Yeah, virtual.
technology. It's a separate solution. So when you say VDI, you have to then explain
right,
which
yeah.
VDI you mean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So is it possible?
So
Is it possible
to
that-
convert VHDX to VMDK, yes, through P2V, or this is called V2V actually, virtual to virtual conversion. And VMware offers a free software for conversion.
Oh.
There's another software called Veeam, another company called Veeam. They also offer V2V solution, virtual to virtual. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna turn zooming now, and let's get going with the action. So now we need to start the migration, and for that we need to configure migration on both sides. And there are those requirements that we need to follow for the migration. But before that, we were talking about some of the migration here. So LiveMigration, to support LiveMigration, you need 2 or more Windows Server 2012 R2 servers with the Hyper-V role enabled, and they must meet the following requirements. So the requirement number 1 is use processors from the same manufacturer, all Intel or all AMD, right? So that makes sense. The physical servers that will have your hypervisor 1 Hyper-V, that should have either both Intel or both AMD, but it cannot be that older AMD or older Intel and newer AMD, which is different. Then it's not gonna live migrate there. So processor family is one thing. All hosts must support hardware virtualization, of course. Virtual VT, Intel VT option in the BIOS should be enabled, and they should, of course, support virtualization basically. Okay, they must belong to the same Active Directory domain or 2 domains that trust one another. We already talked about the domain trust. And LM or LiveMigration will not work with servers that are in a work group. So they should be inside a domain. Okay, and then the VMs must be configured to use either virtual hard disks, VHD or VHDX, or virtual fiber channel disks if you're supporting fiber optics. So yes, we have VHDX hard disks for these virtual machines. And then use of a private network dedicated to live migration traffic is highly recommended. So in production environment, of course, we have one network card just for internal traffic, DNS, DHCP, and Active Directory regular traffic, and one network card is just for live migration separate. Just like we in failover clustering enables one network card for a heartbeat, we can have a separate network card for just live migrating those machines as well, right? It's highly recommended for production environment. Okay, so then membership in one of the following groups: administrators, domain admins, one of the following, right? Hyper-V administrators, or both the source and destination machines, or in Active Directory for both domains if trusted domains. So yes, the account we are using is Net Plus admin, right? So it's already, you know, administrator and part of the administrators group, but we're gonna just add this account to Hyper-V administrators as well, right? And it's empty right now, I guess. So we're gonna go and check an Active Directory for this. Actually, you know, before going to the next point, let's just go there. Oh, that is the next point. So I'm just gonna go back. Let's just go back to our domain controller, the first server, and go for Active Directory user and computers. And here, if you've opened the Active Directory user and computers, do we see any group called Hyper-V? Or yep, there it is. It's Hyper-V administrators. There's a security group already created here, built in. So inside Active Directory user and computers, go to built-in, go to Hyper-V administrators, and just add your NetPlusAdmin account to that group, right? So Hyper-V administrators, everyone can see? Yes. Okay. So members, click add like this. So when you go to members, click add, right? Were they there? That was already the reaction from the crowd audience is, you know, yeah. When you say yeah at once, this means no. So when you say yes, I am there, now that's when you really are there. So okay, click add. Hey, so try not to say yeah because we have witnesses here. So okay, and NetPlusAdmin, press OK, apply, and this is very important for your growing business. You're one of the fastest growing companies right now, so you have to implement all these technologies to clients and earn billions of dollars. Okay, millions, right? Okay, billions. Let's aim for the high price. Okay.
Just zero.
Zero. So Hyper-V administrators, it's NetPlusAdmin added to Hyper-V administrators, everyone? Yes. Okay, thank you for the reply. And let's just go for okay, yeah, that was one of the requirements, but requirements, we're going to check some more, but there are the three move options, the three options to move virtual machines, move the VM's data to a single location. This is simplest, that's what we're going to do. Then, so this is going to move from one physical server to another physical server in the C drive of one, from the C drive of first server to the C drive of second server. Move the VM's data by selecting where to move the items. This provides the most options for where you can store the various components. So a virtual machine has a lot of folders inside, right? You can just select that, okay, virtual machine's hard disk should be moved somewhere else, maybe another path. A virtual machine, the VMX file can be moved somewhere else, some other path, and then see, I didn't have water, so I'm just stuttering now. So, and other snapshots could be moved somewhere else, right? So it could be, you could just divide according to the performance, according to the company policy, if you wanted to divide, but a full folder of the single virtual machine can be moved, you know, with all those components together. Move only the VM. This requires shared storage. I just gave you this scenario before the break that if you have a shared storage or remote storage, that's one of the easiest tasks to do to move a machine, because on the shared storage your hard disk is already present there, it's not moving anywhere, your virtual machine is moving, so it's always like in milliseconds. I mean, it's just gone as soon as you press a button, it's gone. Even this one is very fast process, now you're gonna see. But in production mode, of course, whenever it depends on the time of the day, peak hours, network bottleneck, it's gonna be slow, otherwise it's always very fast, because you're not moving virtual machine's hard disk. Whenever you talk about storage movement or hard disk movement, you really need to think again and again, because any hard disk could grow at any amount. So it could be 20 gigs hard disk, it could be 80 gigs hard disk, and then when you're moving that, you must make sure you have enough bandwidth, and you can just delete a lot of data from inside, right? Okay, so this is the window that you're gonna see there. Well, when we go there, we're gonna see that, so I don't have to show it here. Okay, install to virtual machine. Yeah, this is the lab, and okay, let's create external switch. Yeah, this is the one of the requirements that we really need to meet here. Let's create external switch by the name of production on both Hyper-V. The virtual switch name must be exactly the same. So this is one of the requirements that we need to meet if we want to successfully do the migration. So I'm going to go to the server 2, which is the first virtual member server, or the first Hyper-V on server 2, and we need to check if the virtual switch name is exactly the same on both Hyper-Vs. Now where is the virtual switch? If you go to server 2 and right click like this, so right click server 2 on first member server or server 2, right? You go to virtual switch manager, right? Virtual switch manager like this. When you go there, do you see this switch? Now this is the name of the switch. Now let's keep this window here, let's keep it open. Let's go to the second Hyper-V and open it. Let's go to the second machine. We want to compare the name of the virtual switch on both Hyper-V. So I'm going to the second machine, Hyper-V manager, and starting here and going to server 3 and right clicking the virtual switch manager. Right, everyone there?
Yeah.
Including Murthy?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's good, man. So you're not excluded, like you have to be with us, right? So when I say everyone, that does not mean that Murthy is not involved. You should be there as well. So okay, virtual switch manager. Okay, now click on this and let's compare the name. Even the numbers have to be the same, right? So it's 82574L on first. Second one, if I go to there, 82574L. Okay, gigabit network connection virtual switch. Gigabit network connection virtual switch, Intel R. Okay, I think they are exactly the same name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, confirmed. So this requirement is good. We have a switch which is exactly the same name, and that's how virtual machine will not know the difference, right? It's going to it could be going to the same, it doesn't care about that, but thing is that similarities have to be there for the virtual machine to travel between the two servers. Let's make sure our domain administrator account is also part of Hyper-V administrators. We just did that, right? So we added the NetPlus admin to security group Hyper-V administrators. Set up live migration options on both Hyper-V machines. Now we're gonna just set up like these. So let's go to Hyper-V options on both Hyper-V machines after doing following those two configurations. So I'm just gonna go to first Hyper-V, which is on server 2 like this. Okay, let's just close the switch area, switch manager, right? Let's go to the turn off the switch manager. Okay, you go fly out. Me here. Yeah, you fly. Okay, video, there's a fly, and don't worry, it's a hygienic environment. Come on, video. Okay, anyway, so let's just go here, right click, and let's do the final settings here for live migration. And okay, so here in Hyper-V settings, everyone there? Seriously? It likes my area. Oh, or not. Okay, so Hyper-V settings, everyone there on first? So when we go there, you can see here the fourth option is live migration. Seriously. You be. Don't be. Okay, so live migration is here. Everyone there? So when, first of all, when you put the live migration on the right side, you see enable incoming and outgoing live migrations. Everyone sees that, right?
Yeah.
You see simultaneous live migration. What does that mean? And the number is 2 here. That means what? How many virtual machines simultaneously you can migrate, you want to migrate? There can be a limit here, right? You can just put 10 here, but then your network supports that. Maybe you have Cat5 cabling there, maybe you have lesser quality, or if you have fiber optic network, wow, go for 20, right? And then there is incoming live migrations. Use any available network for live migration or use these IP addresses for live migration. We need to give our IP range here, and it's going to recognize our IP based network, right? So this is selected by default, right? Use these IP addresses, right? So click add here, click add. What are we putting here? Specify the IP address range, not the IP address of the machine, but the range, right? So 192.200.0, and it's gonna add the /24, but let's just add /24 like this. Press OK, right? So it should look like this now. The IP range, right? IP network range, yeah. So do it done. Let's go further a little. Is this done, right? So let's expand that. Everyone, did you expand this plus sign here like this? You see advanced features as well, right?
Why did they put it in small?
Oh.
No, I mean like why did they?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they put it in the expanded?
Oh yeah, that's like real. Well, they kind of hidden it, right? You know, from junior admins. Attack of the junior admins. Whenever we say junior admins, the senior admins are like shivering. No, we have a junior admin. He's gonna experiment and increase his knowledge on our live environment. That's the second sentence. So I heard that many times when I was a junior admin. Okay, so they don't literally let me touch anything, and I qualify for everything. But hey, you're a junior admin. Don't touch that. Don't touch this. And there's a long list of million steps. Don't touch that as well. So, and the only thing I was able to do was create usernames. Hey, that's not part job of junior admin. Okay, but it's a curse word, junior admin, right? So anyway, so we are here, and we chose here Kerberos. Okay, we chose here Kerberos. Yeah. Okay, so then there's a migration. This is a smart way to do it, and by default it's selected here. What does it do? If virtual machine is migrating, it's going to compress the data, travel over the network, uncompress it on the target server, and there you go. So when a compressed data is traveling over the network, it's going to travel fast, right? So, and then you can use just the Microsoft shared network. Maybe there's NFS related or the Linux network as well, but SMB shares are there for typical Microsoft shared folders, and because it's a Microsoft solution. And then TCP/IP based network, but no compression, right? That's going to take then longer time, but let's just select the compression area, right? So for Kerberos, we need to just see those steps for the production environment. Suppose your boss actually tells you configure this. So for this, we need to tell Active Directory which two Hyper-V servers are taking part, or which servers are actually Hyper-V, which servers have the roles Hyper-V. So let's keep it there, this window, and go back to Active Directory. Now these steps are very crucial. Okay, as crucial as seriously. Where's my server 3? Okay, thank God. I thought I didn't join it domain. So everyone sees these two servers? Yes. Okay, thank you. So how to configure Kerberos for connecting remotely to the Hyper-V machines and initiating those migrations. So computers, when you go to servers, there are a few steps you need to do. You have to tell Active Directory that, hey Active Directory, server 2 has a Hyper-V role installed, and it's going to take part in the live migration. Active Directory must know that, right? How to tell Active Directory that? Sorry? No. So right click the server and go to properties here, right? Right click the server 2 and go to properties. Now when you're in the properties, then everyone has properties, server 2, right? Or whichever server is a Hyper-V, right? Now we go to delegation. Yeah, server 2 and 3, we're gonna do this procedure, yeah, but first server 2. So then we select trust this computer for delegation to specified services only. So we're telling Active Directory that server 2 has certain services running on them, and please allow the remotely connected user to use those services, right? We're telling Active Directory that on this server the remotely connected user will use these what services. Now we're gonna tell that. So click add here, trust this computer for delegation, click add. When you click add, now you need to again click the users or computers and use this, right? Everyone on this screen, right? Users and computers. Now first we are going to put the name of the computer, server 02. Yeah, here, are you there? Okay, so server 2, right click, properties, delegation,
Okay.
then trust this computer for delegation, right? Excuse me. Yeah, so click add, users or computers, right? Then go for server 02, check name, that server is actually a server. When you press OK, now a lot of services come here, and out of those we need to select two services, right? One is CIFS. Okay, what is CIFS? It is used for Linux based storage, or it is used for remote, not Linux based, but any remote storage. So first thing we're telling Hyper-V will be using a storage, a type of storage, right? Now guys, we cannot select all the services. You have to press control. We just have to select one more service. We're not gonna select all, but we have to keep it selected. So keep it selected and keep going down until you see these two services, and one of them we have to select. So let's just drag it to the right side. The system migration service. When you press control and click this, so only two services must be selected, but you have to press control for that, right? So let's just check if the previous service did not get unselected. No, it did not. So this service is selected and this service is selected, right? Done, right? Press OK. So we're telling Active Directory that when your that domain administrator remotely connects, the server 2 has the storage services running right now and the migration services running right now, and through these services this account should be able to initiate a live migration, right? So this is the same step, number of steps we need to do on the second server. So apply and OK. We're going to go to the server 3, properties, delegation, trust. Everyone there, right? So Kerberos, click add, right? Anyone can ask me if you're falling behind, including Murthy. Okay. Just kidding, man. Okay, so click add. Hey, now I see some different reaction. You need to give these guys samosas next time so they could also okay. These guys are rich
Yeah,
already.
and
He's so rich.
Yeah.
Oh, we never knew that, huh? This guy is so rich. Okay, that's so rich, really. Okay. Okay. Okay, click add, user and computers, server 03. Check name, press OK. CIFS 1, press, keep the control pressed, and well, first go down and then keep the control pressed and virtual, and double check if the previous one did not got unchecked. Once OK, press OK here. Two services should be selected here. Apply and OK. This lets us remotely connect and initiate LiveMIgration. Yeah.
wouldn't be better if they put a description
Most of the time the configurations are mystic. I mean, we have to really go somewhere else and read the whole thing about it and then come here, and they don't explain. Yeah. Okay, so once this is done, let's right click, refresh here, couple of million times, refresh, and then go back to our first server, the migration server, right? Use Kerberos is sitting here. This is more secure but requires constrained delegation for LiveMigration. We did the constrained delegation for LiveMigration. I wanted you to see the steps, and they're recorded as well. You can remember that, and when you're creating notes, put them down in the document. So in production environment, whenever you get that task or before the interview, you could just follow those steps. How? Oh. Okay, later we're gonna talk. But way to go, man. Way to go. Okay, so we're back here, and let's log on to the server from LiveMigration. We are already logged on. So let's keep life simple here. Guys, I wanted to show you the Kerberos area, but let's just go for CRUD SSP now. I just wanted to show you that. Or, I don't want any errors to be showing. If you wanted to use that, I would encourage that, do that, repeat that lab at home with Kerberos, doing that, right? In fact, okay, let's do the stunt. Let's keep it enabled. And no, it's not a stunt, it's a configuration, but it's just that I hope that no errors come. So let's just press storage features there, and okay, let's just press OK here. That's it. Apply. OK. Exactly same thing we need to configure on the second Hyper-V. So
what was the second? Use Kerberos?
Yeah,
And
that's
compression.
and compression, exactly. Yep. We changed nothing other than we give the IP range.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the second machine, exactly same steps. Right click, server 03, Hyper-V settings, LiveMigration. The only change we did was give the IP range. That's what we're gonna do, right? In LiveMigrations, click add 192.168.200.0/24. Press OK, and there's nothing in advanced features. We're just visiting there and seeing the options here. Use Kerberos and compression, right? Okay, apply. Okay, are we okay? So on server 3, there is nothing here now. Of course, the virtual machine is supposed to be migrated here successfully. Supposed to be. So, okay, before starting the live migration, guys, just double check your firewalls on both Hyper-V. So I'm going to the first Hyper-V, going to the local server, and not trusting that domain off firewall. Let's go inside, and yep, all are off for me. Second server, local server, Windows firewall, domain on. Okay, that was on actually. Not good, not good. So Windows firewall, turn it off, press OK. Make sure basic communication is good. Once that is done, let's go and start the migration. Okay, even inside the migration, we're gonna have some concepts. So okay, let's start the migration here. Going down. Okay, this Hyper-V manager. Everyone there?
Server 02 Hyper-V.
So server 02 Hyper-V manager, right? Good. Okay. Hey, Dinesh, you're not doing it.
I'm following.
Okay. You're following, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So VM01, and there is an option of move. So make sure it's in the running state, right? Running state, right?
It's off for me.
Oh, so right click, start. Oh, start, wherever it's written here, start, right? So, and then make sure the state is running. Okay, is it running for everyone? Yes. Okay,
I have
thank
to
you.
start. I have something in checkpoints.
Yeah, checkpoint is just like a snapshot. So if you right click and click checkpoint here, it's going to create a snapshot of the machine. So I just created a snapshot here. So I think from the previous lab we may have that, or maybe you tried now or something, right? So checkpoint is just like a snapshot, and you can just revert back to that after a few days or whenever you want, right? So let's start that wizard of live migration. Right click the virtual machine, make sure it's running state. So right click, oops, right click, move. So there's an option of move here, right? Everyone sees that? So it's, sorry?
Sorry, not export.
No, we're not exporting it. Export is something else, and it is kind of, it is offline migration. Then there's nothing live here, right? That's easy. So so if the users are connected and you are made to do that, you have no choice but to live migrate. This is the way. So click move. Before you begin the wizard, blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, we know that. It will move the virtual machine from one location to another. Okay, next, move the virtual machine or move the virtual machine storage. What is this? Virtual machine storage. What is that? Anyone knows that? This. So move only the virtual machine storage to another location, either on this server or on a shared storage. So we were talking about this scenario here, and this is just saying that instead of moving the virtual machine, you can just move the storage here from this sandbox or NAS box to this sandbox, right? Just move while the virtual machine stays where it is. If it is on a remote storage, you can move the storage or the hard disk of the virtual machine from here to here as well, while the machine connectivity will be still the same. Suppose this sandbox is really performing bad, or it has some corruption, and you have to move the storage, right? So you can just put the hard disk of the virtual machine to the other storage and just get rid of the storage and get a new one or something like that. But just storage movement always takes more time than the virtual machine movement. You know why? Because it's a hard disk, it has a lot of data. Virtual machine moves very fast because it is just configuration files and whatever transactions are on the memory. Only few files move when virtual machine move. When storage moves, all the hard disk files also, the huge data, 20 GB, 30 GB, 100 GB moves, right? So it might take huge amount of time. Normally it takes all night or sometimes 2 nights. It's that bad. Yeah. If it's CEO's machine or it's a stubborn one or it's a server of managers, they really abuse that. Okay. Let's just go back. Okay. Move the virtual machine. Yes, we're going to go for the easiest option right now. If we can pull off the easiest one, then we can go for the, that's the theory. That's our motto. If you can do the easiest, you're good. If you cannot, so specify the name of the destination computer. Which computer is the destination one? The other one, right? So in my case, it's server 03. In your case, of course, whichever, I think server 03, everyone's case, right? So browse server 03. Check name. You must check name, because through DNS it's going to confirm, through Active Directory it's going to confirm that. So it no, just virtual machine, yeah, default option. So press OK. Server 03 here, right? Everyone selected that? What is it? Server 04, right? You're gonna put server 04. Next. If it detected that, then only it's going to show you the next screen, right? So communication has to be good between the two machines, right? So now the options are: move the virtual machine's data to a single location, move the virtual machine's data by selecting where to move the items. This is what we talked in the slide as well, that just all data, the whole folder of the virtual machine moves from one server to another. That's the first option. That's what we're going to do. Second option is if you want certain components of the virtual machine, like hard disk, to be on separate place, and the checkpoint files to be on separate place, then the second option. Third option is just move virtual machine, not its hard disk, right? We want to move the hard disk as well. So we're gonna see that. We're gonna try to look at this, how it's moving. So move the virtual machine data to a single location with its hard disk as well. So we're moving the storage while on the local machine from one place to another, right? We don't have a remote shared storage, right? So first option, keep it selected. Next. Now which folder is it asking here? Specify a location on the destination computer for the virtual machines items. So if we click browse here, now which C drive is it showing now? Server 3, the destination computer C drive, right? That's a remote drive, or remote to this one, but not the remote storage, but just the drive. So if you go inside the C drive, we never created a folder here, right? So if you right click, are you able to create a folder here? Nope. Yes or no? No. When you right click, there is nothing, there is no option called new here, right? So keep this screen open, go to the second machine or the destination machine, go to the C drive of the destination machine, and inside the C drive, right click the and create a new folder, new VM. So, and that's it. New VM is created. Just create a new folder, and then we come back there and give the path of this new VM folder, right? So I just created a folder called new VM, and going back to the source, and still I'm there. It's not gonna, maybe I refresh and it finds that. Oh yeah, it does. So if that window is still open, just press F5. Now the new VM folder can be seen here. So select this folder and click the button select folder. Now the path is like this on the destination machine, right? So new VM, everyone there? Selected the path, right? Okay, including Dinesh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Next, and you said yeah, huh? Okay. Okay, next, and okay. I hope, I don't want to say fingers crossed, but let's see. Click finish. Performing the move. Okay. Done?
Yeah.
All right.
There.
What's the proof? Hey, it's first of all, it's gone from here. Server 02. Second thing, is it inside? Okay, I have the folder in front of me and it says 583 megabyte. It was a new folder. Now you can see all the folders related to that virtual machine, right? Inside the new VM and the Hyper-V. Oh yeah, there you go. We got it.
Sorry, can you do that VMware as well?
Can we do the VMware vMotion?
No, no.
Okay.
Oh, is that
Oh.
vMotion?
That's called vMotion. Here it's called LiveMigration. Yes, it is. Some administrators, rednecks. Oh, I should not call redneck to my friend, but he's like doing it. Hey, I did the Hyper-V with VMware, and I was like staring at him. How did the company allow you to do that? Okay, is it doable technically? Yes. Okay, it is doable. We should do it. The vendors will be screaming at you. We don't support that. If you fail, during this process, you're on your own. You call the VMware or Hyper-V, Microsoft support. They'll say, hey, we don't support that. Where did we mention that in our support that, hey, do this stunt, do from VMware to Hyper-V? If you see that document there, we'll support you. So there, both companies will put on the phone. You're on your own if you fail. But one of my friend, he is in a big company and he's doing that, and the company knows that, and they trust him blindly, and it works perfectly. It's just that if ever he fails, but he's, well, I can say genius. If he fails, no way.
I moved it from server 03 to server 02 again.
Again?
Nothing happened. Yes, I'm back to return.
It successfully did that.
Yes, I
That's
moved
good.
it from server 0 to 3 and 3 to
Way to go, man. No, did you have to create the new folder or?
I just created
Okay.
a new folder and
Way to go, way to go, guys. So okay, that was yeah.
So for
Sorry.
VMware,
Mhm.
VMware computer, it has
Yeah.
its own,
You will see the similar kind of configuration because I'm doing the VMware course. Exactly the same. The switch name has to be the same. But there is remote storage there. remote storage we already configure on the day 1. We configure actually on day 3. We configure remote storage. Here it's the local storage because it's a cheaper solution. In VMware, it will be one of the last classes where we're going to do exactly this scenario where local storage to local storage we're going to migrate for smaller companies. But VMware always starts with the remote storage. You must have that, right? Hyper-V starts with, hey, small companies, here we are, money.
Is it possible to, just make a copy on the other one, like from server 2,
Make a copy. This means there's one VM here and its copy should be there.
Yeah, like
Active
another way
and
for
passive.
Another way for backup.
Hey, you're genius. You know that? You know why? That's the next lab. That's called replication. See, you're a genius. How did you know that's the next lab I'm about to do? Really, exactly that's the scenario. Okay, this means you're gonna be the sponsor for the next coffee for everyone. Oh no, is that a punishment or a reward? Okay. But that's exactly what we're about to do. Replication, that is called replication. Yes, load balancing, then you have to have failover clustering. So failover clustering, then Hyper-V on top of those two failover clustering machines. Both should be Hyper-V as well as failover clustering. And then virtual machine on top of that. Then virtual machine can be, yeah. Then you must have a very good high-end hardware. Hardware has to be good RAM and processing, right?
Are we doing all
Failover clustering?
this? I mean, we did already, but I mean.
Yeah, we did already.
Is it
I like that.
Is it different from
Well, it's just that you have to have Hyper-V working in this environment plus failover clustering working. And Hyper-V, we already had a workaround. In this environment, it's going to be giving us errors because we tried this stunt. It's a stunt for this environment. If it was physical servers with failover clustering plus Hyper-V and then virtual machine, then it's gonna be easier if we have physical servers below us, not on top of a virtual machine already. Or we must increase our RAM to the highest capacity and do this and start. Fingers crossed. But it is no, one of my students did that. One of my students only did that because he was gonna go for an interview. And he said, sir, it works perfectly, as you said. So I just told him, just put Hyper-V on top of that, put a virtual machine on top of that, and then try to migrate. And yes, it works like a charm. Yes, we can do that, but we have very big labs coming. In the end, we can try to do all kinds of other scenarios, right? But we have to cover certificate services. You will see how big is that. DAC, very big. And RMS and Federation services. All 4 big labs. So after that, that's why I'm just trying to explain the concept first and the Hyper-V, this is one of the easiest one, right? And the next one is actually replication, which is also very, very important. And this might be one of those things that always, management says, this is a very important server, it's a virtual machine, can you make a replica of that? Can you make an active passive copy of that? So this is where we really get into, higher skills, and there's a requirement. I've seen that it's been asked to my friends in the network and, only once to me. But in VMware environment and my friends in Hyper-V and VMware, so replication, it has its own separate scenario, right? And all the configuration is separate. So for that, I created actually screenshots as well because I just don't want to fail that as well. Okay, it's not as well. I did not fail in that. Okay, the first one. So there are the screenshots here that I'm gonna show, and we can quickly follow that. So yeah, we did that.
We also get that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we're gonna do that actually. So so yeah, but you can get a screenshot, no problem. Yeah, it's part of the lab. Exactly. That's where the hard work really was done by the teacher. And yeah, I'm gonna share that, no problem. I love sharing. And especially when others sharing their coffee. Not their coffee, like, yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's just go there. and do that. So replication, yeah, we did that, done, finito, yeah, okay, yeah. You can see that there's a logo here. This was, I just borrowed those shots for. Now why do I have to do that when somebody else already did that, right? But the good part is, can we still do that with screenshots? You know, many times we can't. So even
One of the class, I think the last one, class we had,
Mhm.
you sent us from the class, from the college,
yeah,
talking about that. It was not our class. It was
yeah.
that the class
Oh,
we had in
yeah.
Harvard class.
And I explained, you know, at the last time somebody saw that I got a blue screen
Oh, yeah.
exactly when I was about to save. So the video is still there. It just does not open. It's corrupted now. So half of it was saved, maybe half was not saved, but it's not opening anymore.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
then, and it was the exact same steps, because you attended the class. If you saw the video, the steps, the jokes were different, but the steps were same, right? So actually,
Those are new jokes.
there were better jokes there. Okay. Okay. So, okay, let's do the replication. But the process of replication, let's quickly do that, because then Tanesh will really stare at me. Hey, time is up. You better get up now. Now. Yeah. Now we have to just leave quickly. So I'm just gonna see all the steps there and the pitfalls. Actually, I'm trying to see the pitfalls where we're gonna get errors if we do it wrong. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, you're gonna get that. And replica server, got it. Okay, so let's just get going. The replication is, as you said, Renfell, the credit goes to you now because you were thinking about exactly that, and this means you're thinking ahead, and you're thinking, you know, good and ahead and good. Okay, so let's just go there and go for, now our machine is on server 3. We need to make a replica. Replica means active, passive, which means what? We can, so active, as soon as it goes down or the physical server goes down, at once the passive must start right away without a downtime. It's gonna have a little downtime, but it's gonna start, right? It's not supposed to. In our environment, it might have. So this is the configuration. So this configuration does not take place on first the virtual machine. Also, it goes for first the server. So let's just go for the Hyper-V settings there for replication, right? And we have to set it up, of course, on both Hyper-V as well. But wherever the virtual machine is, let's just start from there. Now on, you know, the last option here is replication configuration. Everyone there? Replication configuration not enabled as a replica server, but we're going to enable now. So enable this computer as a replica server, right? So now use Kerberos. This is entirely different scenario here. Either you can use for security certificate based services, 443 port. You want to encrypt the traffic. That's going to take double processing and double RAM, right? So first it's going to encrypt, then send over the network, then decrypt and save there, right? So, but use Kerberos is just, you know, Active Directory environment where you have good security already. So first top option is this. Everyone selected that? Okay, let's just go for authorization and storage. We can scroll down here like this. Now, authorization and storage, specify the servers that are allowed to replicate virtual machines to this computer. Allow replication from any authenticated server, right? Or allow replication from specified servers. Well, in a big environment, you could just go for the second option. But when we go for any authenticated servers, this is the other server which is joined to the domain. Any server that is joined to the domain can replicate to this its own machine, right? And this is the option here, and that's it. Yay! But you know, in if we go to specified server, if I suppose click that and click add here, then we have to just put the primary name of the server here, specify the trust group here. Trust group identifies a group of primary servers within which a given primary virtual machine can move. You have to create a security group with those servers here, right? And the FQDN of the other server. I'm just showing those options here. So cancel out from here, let's just go for allow replication from any authenticated server. The virtual hard disks is there already, that option. So now let's just apply and OK, right? Nothing else than clicking those options. Apply, OK. Now the same thing we're gonna do. Okay, when you apply, this option comes here, configure the firewall to allow inbound traffic. Press OK. Yes, we're good with the inbound traffic. OK. Now this is the first server where the machine, actual machine is, active machine is. We're going to create a replica or the passive machine here on the second server. Let's go to the second server now and go for Hyper-V settings here. Same option, same area there as well. Replication configuration. Everyone there? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Enable this computer, use Kerberos, those two options, and obviously allow replication from any authenticated server, right? So apply and again configure the firewall. So it's just saying that, you know, port 80 is there and just don't let the firewall stop it, right? Press OK. Now we just for safety, we're gonna just try to see that those screenshots, it's always there handy instead of going straight ahead and charging. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, you know, the path here is different, just to see right away. Otherwise our path is longer. You know, that's good idea to have a different path. It's not nothing technical here. They just change the path here just to check the machines right away instead of we going in deep inside those paths. But you know guys, right click this, all this, right click and select all this. Oh, not right click, select all this, copy and open these paths here on this virtual machine so we can see both. So on server 3 we are doing that. So I'm just selecting this path, allow replication from any authenticated server. Why? We want to see the proof that the hard disk has been created on the other machine in this path, right? So virtual hard disk here, press OK. When you press OK and continue, this folder should open and it's empty right now. Is it empty for everyone? Yeah, it should be empty for everyone, right? So I opened this and I'm gonna minimize it because when we create a replication, finally it's gonna be populated, of course, right? So open it and minimize. I'm just gonna go to the second server as well, go to the server 3 as well, Hyper-V settings, replication configuration, and open exactly the same path by selecting and copying that. Tell me if I'm going too fast. Oh, too fast? You're kidding, right? Okay, okay. Huh? Yeah, just two paths. God, man, I wasn't shocked. Like, oh, okay, yeah, no, actually, I was actually thinking I'm going fast now, but it was redundant stuff. So they're both empty, right? Okay, so minimize and let's start our replication and see that as well. So press OK on both sides. Where the machine is, of course, on the machine we need to start the replication. So right click the machine on server 3 and start enable replication, right? About the export, of course, it's an offline and with all the downtime you can export the machine, but LiveMIgration is different. So enable replication, everyone there. So the wizard starts like this. Oh, a lot of options here, right? So next, from the first, now replica server, of course, is our server 2. So browse server 02 and check name. You must check name. Press OK. Once it is done, I hope no errors came. I hope the firewalls are off, right? Hey, was I recording that? Thank God. Yeah. Okay. So server 2 next, and everyone should be on this screen now, right? On this screen, right? Everyone, including, okay, Matthew. Oh, and Murthy. Hey, I said and at once you laughed. I haven't even started to say Murthy, right? So so this means you're not on this page.
No, I'm on the
Server 1, but doing the same lab as we are doing, right? Uh-oh, messages are coming, right? Hey, you need to repeat all the labs, man. You have to earn. Your company is the fastest growing. Really, I mean you're getting a lot of clients, so you have to implement all that, right? Okay, guys, compress the data that is transmitted over the network. Yes, this is configured and good. I mean the data has to be compressed. It has to be compressed, and then it's going to travel faster, right? So other replica server is server 2, right? Next, what is this? Clear the checkbox of any virtual VHDs that you do not want to replicate. So yes, we want to replicate the hard disk, right? But maybe there is drive D, E, F, G, H. You don't want to replicate all the drives, right? If that is the case, if that virtual machine had more drives, then and you don't want to replicate, then this is a choice there.
How come yours the name got changed? With like
This one?
SID after
Oh.
VM01 underscore.
Yeah, it's the SID. It has to be new. It has to be unique for everyone, right?
Or mine is saying VM01.
Oh, it's just Vim01 for you,
Yeah.
not the SID showing here. What was the reason? We all did the same steps. Okay, let's blame it on Microsoft and just go ahead. So, no, sometimes when it does not detect proper names, but then it only gives SID. Then it does not give the virtual machine name. But I have no idea for now why it is giving extra information. So I have to Google that myself. So, okay, next. But I hope it works. Okay, next. So choose the frequency at which changes will be sent to the replica server. Now, how crazily you want to use the network? Is your network good?
Is it the only option?
Every 5 minutes you want to send the modifications, while any modification is done every 30 seconds you want to send those changes. 30 seconds. So it's not like up to the last second, but it is giving a little time. Hey, give it time to travel. So you make a change in 30 seconds, or every 30 seconds it just updates that okay, this is the current configuration of the virtual machine.
So what about if we 15 minutes?
15 minutes, you're using your network network less, you're creating lesser traffic, and this machine might not be that important.
Then it's lower.
It's gonna be slower, yeah. But if we go for 30 seconds, which is a good idea, but depends on how critical is the machine, right? So
Depends on traffic.
yeah, and the traffic as well. You want to really create traffic, so go for that. But normally we have separate network cards for that. So the traffic goes on a separate network 10.0.0 while we are on 192, right? It totally this network is separate. Then make it 30 seconds, right? So I'm just choosing 30 seconds. Next, maintain only latest recovery point. Then you can create a lot of recovery points here as well, or create additional hourly recovery points. Now that's a very good backup, right? So it creates a lot of recovery points for that machine, active machine. But that's going to create you need a lot of space for that, right? And that's hourly recovery points is also wow. So when you lose it, any corruption, you just go back to the recovery point within 24 hours, every hour. This is crazy, but we can go to that level. And volume, shadow copy, snapshot frequency, it's going to take snapshots as well every 4 hours. In hours, right? So 4 hours or every hour recovery point is separate, snapshot is separate, right? So snapshot point in time backup, recovery point is it's kind of a snapshot, but so it's built into Windows. This is snapshot is from the that hypervisor itself. Two ways to. This is like security after security after security. You really want to secure that. So maintain only the latest recovery point. I mean, you can just choose anyone. It doesn't matter here, right? But you know what is it and why would you use that, right? That's the main thing. Why? So I'm just going for top. Even if we select that, doesn't matter. Okay, let's select that. Okay, next. I mean, anyone you select next. Okay, send initial copy over the network right now. Yes. Send initial copy using the external media. Seriously. So maybe it's huge disk, and you may want to just go for the changes every 30 seconds. But first time when you do that and it's an 80 gigs disk, you don't want to use your network. Maybe you want to export it out in the USB or external drive, 1 terabyte drive, and then put the whole thing there on the passive machine. After that, whatever small changes you're making, that can travel over the network, but not the 80 gigs of data if it is that big, right? So we must know why this option is there, right? So use an existing virtual machine on the replica server as an initial copy. Maybe there's another virtual machine that's just doing nothing, sitting there doing nothing. So you can put that virtual machine as an initial copy, but when we're just gonna select the first option, which means what? It's going to create automatically a second copy. And right now our second server is, okay, let's just get rid of that, is empty, right? So after replication is successful, there should be a copy created here, and it should be called VM01 copy something, right? So, but anyway, let's go ahead. Yes, send initial copy over the network. Our machine is very light. Next. Okay, that's it. Oh, please. Okay, finish. Okay, if we go to the second server now, hey, there you go, and it's supposed to be off. If you try to turn it on, it's gonna protest. And hey, I'm a passive copy. I'm saving data here. So would you stay away? But here is the actual copy. But if you go, on the server 3, if the machine is selected, first proof of replication, yes, the copy is created here. And it is, we never created that, right? Second proof, if you go back here, what does the replication area here say? So go way on the bottom here, right? Way on the bottom. So replication mode is primary and replication enabled, and primary server is server 3 in my case, replica server is server 2. It shows everything, right? And if you keep coming here, last synchronized at this time, now next synchronization will be every 30 seconds. I selected that, right? So after 30 seconds it should be saying another time here, right? So this is replica now. So the copy is creating. If we were working on that machine extensively, the copy is traveling, whatever modifications we're making, it is traveling there. But what are the other options here? So if we right click here now on the server 3, the machine that is running, the active machine, right? If you go to replication here, now you can actually failover, right? So planned failover, pause replication, view replication, remove replication, right? And these are the options here. But if you go to the server 2 where its copy is, right click the copy now, which is off on server 2, replication option, failover, test failover, right? Pause replication, extend replication, view and remove. What about this test failover? Okay, so if you're on the off machine or the passive machine, replica, and go to test failover, click that, the option comes here. You can create a separate virtual machine to verify that a recovery point is able to start successfully and that the virtual machine is running correctly. Use this recovery point to create the virtual machine to test failover. So it says first create a recovery point, right, before you test a failover, because that machine might go offline if you're testing the failover, right? A new virtual machine will be created based on the specified recovery point. It might take up to a few minutes for the new virtual machine to be created. It's going to test failover. So let's see what the error comes, if there is any error. I'll click the test failover now, right? So it created a recovery point and it created another machine here just to test a failover, that if you wanted to failover, what will happen? It created a separate name of a virtual machine, so it should not be a same name, and it created an off copy, so it should not be, there should be no conflict of any type. First of all, the name of the machine is different, right? It just tested by creating a new virtual machine that can you fail over from a copy or not? Is that failover procedure is okay or not? Are you ready for a disaster recovery or not, right? So and the other benefit is, suppose that active virtual machine here, that was for 6 months you're working, and it's huge amount of work that is there, right? So when you create a test failover, this will be also, suppose that was 40 GB hard disk, this will create a 40 GB hard disk here as well. And you want to know how the copy will look like if I had to failover from an active to a passive machine. So you're gonna create a copy, it's gonna create a copy of 40 GB exact same as the active machine, and you can start it and you can check that machine without disturbing the actual failover, actual replication process going on, right? You can start, you can check, oh yeah, that's exactly just like my active copy here, but that's a different name and it has no IP address. It must not be connected to a network while you're testing a failover, right? So this is how you test a passive copy if it is really making replication till the last 30 seconds. When you make a copy, you can start it, and if it had an operating system, it would just go in. You can go inside and check. It should be exactly like an active copy, right? So test failover feature is very cool. I have yet to see that in VMware, that we can actually create a copy of a copy
So the test failover basically just creates a copy
of the active machine, of this machine.
of that
Yeah,
failover.
but and this machine, if that test copy has exactly same thing as active machine has, this means your off copy is perfect, right? And without the replication is still going on. It did not disrupt anything in the actual replication, right?
So when is the best practice to do, like offline, when office?
No, actually, in the working environment, if it's not a very big data, we can test it.
The
Replication?
replication. Yeah.
Replication started now, right?
No, I know, but
Mhm.
in production, so
Yeah.
can we like, let's see,
Mhm.
doing doing it while everyone is working?
So replication, the main thing about replication is only fewer most critical machines are selected for replication. Even in VMware it's the same thing. They call it different name, but only few machines. There could be 10 virtual machine in Hyper-V or ESXi hypervisor. There could be 10. Only 1 or 2, maybe maximum 3 machines are selected for replication, because it takes a lot of processing of each physical machine, a lot of RAM, and a lot of network traffic. So few virtual machines, and yes, they are on and replicating in the production environment. Best practice is put it on a separate network card. Physical network card is separate, switches are separate, full network is separate, and they are replicating on a local network, not on our normal network. They are just like a heartbeat in the failover clustering. A separate network, they are just testing each other, ping, 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 ping. That's the same thing here. That it's a separate network, they are just updating each other. That's all. Not each other, but it's a one-way update, right? But you can test this without disrupting. The replication is still going on. People are still working on the active machine, and you just saw a copy. Oh yes, exactly the active copy. So that's wow, right? So that's a very cool feature of replication, as well as that, for small business, that migration, right? So please test this at home. Do try this at home, but do not try this in your office, of course. But and screenshots are due. And what about that test you were saying? You want to test on Thursday? They're saying they need
Thursday is
test.
Yeah.
Test means in one go you have to install 2 or 3 kinds of solutions in one go in 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
You can use the help from YouTube, but within 3 hours you have to complete 2 or 3 labs in one go, which we are completing one by one now. That's the test. Are you ready this Thursday for that?
for Hyper-V just
Any of the labs we have done.
Wednesday.
Yeah, sorry, Wednesday.
That's why I said
Thursday. Okay, Wednesday. So yes, guys, whatever we covered, among those 3 labs will be coming, 3 or 4, most probably 3 because we have 3 hours. But if it's a small lab, then there will be 4, and you have to install the whole environment. Well, have your Active Directory and 2 member servers ready, and you guys don't come here, so otherwise I wanted you to create virtual machines, 4 virtual machines, 3 member servers, and 1 domain controller. We need actually 4 total virtual machines for the test, right? Can you come early, or do you have, maybe you have to stay early? Come early or stay late? Huh? So 4 machines we need for the task, 3 member servers, and 1 domain controller. And then whatever lab you get, just go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, done, right? So we're ready for the test, right? This is still high availability and whatever we covered.